All right. Hi, YouTube world. I tried to record a little bit earlier on the YouTube recorder thing, but I don't know, that shit just kind of got lost in like cyberspace. So that was an epic waste of time and a half an hour of my life I'll never get back. But fuck it, you know. Uh, so hi. Um, I've been dealing with anxiety issues since I was like pretty young. Like I'm 26 now, but I've been dealing with this stuff since I was like at 12 or something. Uh, and I've taken a lot of medications. I started off on Prozac, but I gained a lot of weight. And then I went to Remeron, which was helping. Um, it completely calmed my social anxiety where I could go to a bar with my friends and not immediately have the urge to like sprint and run away, you know? Um, and so it was good. I mean, at the beginning, it made me a little bit drowsy. But as we increased the dosage, I found that I became less and less drowsy, which is great. But again, I was gaining like a lot of weight, and with some people it doesn't happen, you know. But with me, it definitely did. So that was enough for me to be like, hey, sorry about it. Like, not that's just something that I'm not willing to compromise. Like maybe a couple pounds, like no big deal. But when it becomes to become like a lot, then I guess I kind of have a problem with that, you know. um, and then I don't know, dude. I tried like Vibrid. I've tried most recently. I've tried Lexapro, which I had the whole also the whole thing that I'm not willing to compromise on is the whole sexual dysfunction thing, and that's I know a problem that I know a lot of people deal with. But I get started and be fine, but I can never finish, and I don't know. Like a lot of these SSRIs, for me, kind of were. I heard someone use a term like chemically emasculating, and that's exactly the truth, you know. But stop that. So I've kind of just been using, well, nothing. Well, that's not true. Lied. Uh, kind of been using like Clonopin. Like I'm prescribed a bit, quite a bit, like way more than I need. But I'll only take like half a milligram, which is half a pill, or 1 milligram, like one pill, and I'll just take it. Like I would just take it before some big event, like if I had to go interview like a fake patient in clinic where I knew like the camera was going to be on me and I knew this was going to be a grade. Um, in those type of situations, like it's kind of hard for me. Like that's when I would take a Klonopin, you know, not every day, but just for performance. And never, I don't know, I never had a problem with like exams. If I was gonna take an exam, like I don't care, you know, I'm not gonna have a panic attack over an exam. Some people do. I'm not trying to like talk shit down, but with me, it's more like performance when I know someone else is like watching, and not actually not even when someone else is watching because I don't really care about that. It's more when I know that there's gonna be a grade, and pretty much the grade depends on whether or not I have a fucking panic attack or can think clearly or not. I guess it's like performing anxiety. You know what? And that's another reason I like doing. That's another reason I like doing these videos. Is it's like it's oddly kind of therapeutic. Um, and I mean, I like getting people's inputs and comments, and like, hey, maybe you have a story that's like similar to mine, and I mean, it's all. I mean, we're all connected. We're all in this world together, right? So why not share when we can? I mean, I'd love to hear your stories, and I'd like you to hear mine. Mine is just mine's so weird, man. Like, yeah, I've been struggling with like crippling anxiety for like I said, like as long as I can remember. Where it makes it so hard to even like walk up to people and talk to people and like people like friends and acquaintances I have at school that I know are safe and that I know aren't gonna attack me. I still um I still get that urge to run away, sprint away, that fight or flight like sympathetic mechanism, like it. Even when I know it's safe, it's still. I just want to sprint, run away from social interactions, and I'm a medical student. My second year right now, so we're about to start our third year soon, and I just realized that this is I need to get a handle on stuff, like I've kind of just been hanging on for a long time, kind of just going through like stuff like unmedicated and without therapy, and kind of just dealing, kind of just like going through the emotions, and that's the beautiful thing about medical school, is that like we just study all the time, and it's really easy to um to lock yourself away in your room and just study and isolate everybody else, because as a med student, that's kind of what you're expected to do. Like some people love study groups and stuff like that. I mean, and I don't mind them, but just I feel that I'm a lot more productive when it's just me on my own and I'm in charge of things. And I find that in study groups, like too much time is wasted, and there's too much fucking around, and stuff that could have been done in like an hour and a half takes 3 hours because of all the like LOLing and stuff like that, or just fucking around. I feel I can be a lot more efficient on my own, but on the same token, if you're not careful, and sometimes I wasn't, it's an easy way to isolate yourself, and not have to deal with that social anxiety and go deal with people at school. When you can just study on your own, like all the time, and kind of just lock yourself in your own little world, and just I would just close the door to like my bedroom, and you know, and just go hashtag like beast mode, and just ignore the world, you know. But I recently started going to therapy again, and if you're on the fence about going to therapy and you think that it's going to be like wasted money and that no one's going to be able to understand you, like, I urge you to go. And you might take you a couple times. Like, you like one therapist may not be great, but the other one might be fucking awesome. Like, I've had like a couple therapists where I'm just like, dude, like I feel like you're like a hoke crack. I don't like you as my therapist, I would never say that, but what the fuck? It doesn't matter. Like, like whenever you meet people, you make friends, and like, hey, like this is gonna work. Like I feel some kind of connection here, and we're gonna hit it off. Like that feeling. It's the same with a therapist. When you have when you have that feeling that someone's gonna understand you and you can open up to them and that they're gonna be able to help you on some capacity, And so I've definitely had that experience once before in San Diego. I met this awesome therapist, and I'm not talking about like MD or DO. I'm talking about like psychologists, because I feel like with MDs or DOs, it's more of they prescribe the pills, but the therapists, that's where the real magic happens. That's like in therapy. That's whenever they try to get to the root of your problems and like, why are you the way that you are, and like, is the way that you think about the world like the way that everybody else thinks about the world, or I don't know, like they try to like cut through those cobwebs or remold your way of thinking that isn't really the best, I don't know. I've had some really great experiences, and hey, like you're never gonna know if I don't know if you come out with a few pearls of wisdom, like that's fucking great, So if you're scared to go to therapy, don't be. go and just open yourself up, you know? Because that's another great thing about a therapist is that they're not your friends, they're not your family, you know? You're not gonna have to they're a completely objective point of view. Like, they have no reason to lie to you, you know? They have nothing to gain out of it, so they're not going to. Your friends, well, they don't want to hurt your feelings, and so they'll sugarcoat shit or not tell you the truth, or just, you know, just be, or I don't know, what do they say? Put on those like rose-colored lenses or whatever. They'll tell you what you want to hear, but it may not necessarily be what you need to hear. And that's the great thing about like therapists. It's that they have no emotional investments or ties in your social life, and they just want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be, you know. And it's in a completely objective point of view where they don't they have nothing to gain out of it, you know. So it's pretty great. But I started seeing a therapist on Thursday, and I have another appointment on Tuesday, because I have some work to do. I kind of want to get myself a little bit more stable before I start third year of med school, because that's like when you see patients in clinic, and like I'm doing okay, but I know I could be better. And I have time. I have time to work on that right now, you know. And since I have the time to work on it, I'm taking it, and I have time to figure it out, you know. I just want to be like a better, less anxious version of myself, you know. I want to enjoy my life and not have to feel like I have to always like just run away or sprint away, or like if I'm in a room full of people, I want to just sit down on the couch and just like have a normal conversation, you know, and not have to have a couple glasses of wine, or just sit there and like not want to like sprint away or run away or have my heart beating out of my chest and like my palms sweating and having trouble breathing and just having a hard time just keeping it together in front of people, you know, just so A, they don't notice that I have anxiety problems, or B, that I don't have that I'm trying so hard not to have a panic attack that I can't even enjoy like normal everyday conversations, you know. But I mean, I know there's people out there in the world that like watching this who are going through similar situations, and I don't know, I urge you to like leave comments like down below, I don't know, and maybe I can help you, maybe you can help me, maybe if you're going through similar shit, and you've tried stuff that I haven't tried, or you know, or you want to try things that I've tried, like medications or therapy, like we're all in this fucking little mental health war. It's us against the world, right? So anyway, so I started Friday I started Effexor. I tried a lot of medications, man. Like I've tried, so Prozac, Remron, Fibrid, Wellbutrin, Lexapro, which is escitalopram, and then Klonopin, just every now and then whenever something big has to happen. But I've heard the horror stories about Effexor, but at this point I just don't care, because what works for some people may not work for others, and maybe this is the thing that'll work for me, you know. And I don't know, I just hope the whole sexual side effects don't happen, because I'm really tired of that shit. I know the come down, and I know I heard that if you are taking it and then you decide not to, that the anxiety can be, you get these electrical shocks that can be crippling, but I don't know, man. That's sure, great, a physical manifestation, whatever. But I think ultimately, like the anxiety that I feel most days is so. I'm just tired of dealing with it, you know. I'm just fucking tired of dealing with it, and if I have to like fucking flip a fucking coin and roll the dice or however they say to on this medication, like I'm totally willing, you know. Like fear of some electrical shock isn't gonna keep me from trying something that may work for me. I don't know. I'm kind of running out of options here, so I'll keep you updated, man. Like, definitely been going to therapy and will continue to do so. But I have like about a month and a half to prep for licensing exams, which kind of sucks because I'm starting this medication and I just want my brain to be okay. And I don't want it to cloud it up and where it could impact like the scores that I get, because they're a pretty big deal, like a pretty huge deal. Like they're the tests that kind of dictate like what specialty in medicine you'll end up in. So kind of high stakes. Definitely rolling the dice here, but I'm going to do that because I need to get better for next year. You know, because this is an exam. It's an exam I take on some computer, but next year I'll be seeing actual like patients in clinic, and I just want to be the best version of myself so I can get the most out of those interactions and perform like the best. You know. So let's see. But it's almost summertime, which is great because I do get a month off, like after these licensing exams, and between like after end of June to end of July, I have that month off, and I don't know what I want to do is if I'm this really, then it's really cheap to travel through this airline called Wow, and if you leave from Boston, which is I don't live there, I've never been there, but I have a friend there, so I might park. Anyway, so if you fly to Boston, go to Iceland, and then like Reykjavik or whatever, Reykjavik. I'm not really sure how you say that, but it doesn't matter. And you fly from Boston to Iceland, Iceland to somewhere in Europe, like Copenhagen, and then once you're in Europe, you can just go anywhere. And then you have your couple of like return flights already from like Copenhagen to Iceland, Iceland to Boston, and then the rest of the time, you just figure it out. You get lost, just fuck it, you know. Like if you want to go to Poland, go to Poland, or if you want to go to Germany and party in like Berlin, like bye Felicia, you know. It's great, but so I was talking to my mom yesterday for like an hour and 45 minutes, which is I don't know. We don't talk very frequently, but whenever we do, and they're pretty long. And she wants to go to Mexico. She wants to drive from Wisconsin all the way to Mexico, like central Mexico, kind of like by Mexico City. And I'm down. That sounds like fun, but I kind of wanted to take this like European fucking vacation trip because over Christmas break I was in Rio. I was in Brazil. Yeah, Christmas and New Year's. I spent like almost a month there, and it was awesome because I just went by myself. I didn't know anybody, and I was just able to be like the version of myself that I have always wanted to be. But back home, like it's like my personality can be kind of dampened by anxiety, and so I'm not the best version of myself that I can be. And that's the thing I love about traveling is that not only is it an escape, like you go to this new country where you know absolutely nobody, and so there's no one to tell you that whoever you are isn't right, or that isn't you, or like it's great because you can be the best version of yourself that you can be without fear of like repercussions, you know. And it's kind of liberating. And whatever risks you've wanted to take, like you can take, and it doesn't matter because no matter what, you have a return plane ticket, you know. And one of the biggest risks I took while in Brazil was everybody down there wears like these little tiny little square little like they're not speedos. The speedos are the triangular one, but they're like little square shorts and they're really tight. And I was like, all right, man, like you have been like not eating carbs and working out for like 2 months, beating yourself up prior to this, like you're ready and you're terrified of this, which is why you need to do it. And I remember being in this little shop where they sell all those little square shorts, and I tried them on, and I was like, no, like I'm not, I'm not fucking doing this, man. And the sales guy's like, yeah, like they look good on you, like you're fine, like it's fine, like everybody here wears them. I was like, okay, let's fucking do this. So I bought them, and then I changed into them, and then I walked all the way down to the beach, and then to a different beach, just no shirt, just flip flops and those little square shorts, and that was it. And it was awesome because it was something that I was really scared of doing, but I did it anyway, you know. And that's the great thing about travel is that like when else are you gonna like if you're gonna wear fucking little square shorts anywhere in the world, and it's okay. Like Brazil is the place, and that's where you do it. You know, you go there. People go for Carnival or for Caipirinhas or like their coffee or whatever, and the clubs. I mean, or people go to France for the champagne and the cheese and the Eiffel Tower. I don't know, man. You go to Brazil for the beaches and the parties and the beautiful people, and apparently for the opportunity to wear those little square, little short things. I really don't know. They call them sungas, but whatever. They're just little square speedo things. It's cool because they had this little pattern of like they were black and they had like little, it was like little soccer netting, soccer ball little pattern because they're crazy into soccer. And over spring break, I flew to Tel Aviv. I was talking to this one guy online, and it was crazy because we had this emotional like connection. Like, oh, we had a good connection over Skype. Yeah. So I was like, great. So go to Tel Aviv, and I've always wanted to go to Tel Aviv, and I wasn't going for him. I was going just because I heard that it was a lot of fun. I hated it, honestly. Tel Aviv sucked. And then I met this guy, and he was there was no connection there, no emotional nothing. Like it was whatever was felt on Skype was definitely not felt there in real life. And I don't know if it's because I was on Lexapro. Probably not the best idea to start taking psych medications like right before a big trip. Didn't really think that one through, but whatever. So I went, yeah, and then I went to Jerusalem too, and then because it's only 45 minutes away, so I hopped on a bus and went to Jerusalem and I saw all the sites, like where Jesus was crucified and like that big Jewish Western Wall, and I met a couple Americans there. And in Tel Aviv, I met this one bartender who was like, who I ended up hooking up with. I don't know, he's like, I was just walking to the bathroom, and then he follows, like, I left the door, and then I hear a knock on it, and then, he comes in, and then we start, like, making out, and he was beautiful, and it sucks, because he was like, hey, like, I'm off at, like, 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., and, like, do you want to hang out after that? And, I was like, oh, fuck, no, I have to go to dinner with this dude, like, that guy from OkCupid or whatever. Yeah, but anyway, I ended up meeting up with the dude the next day. So, in Jerusalem, yeah, Jerusalem was fucking great. I had a billion times more fun in Jerusalem than I did in Tel Aviv. And then somewhere in there, I was back in Tel Aviv, and I was like, man, like, I don't want to spend another day here. Like, this place sucks. I fucking hate it. And I was like, all right, well, where do I want to go? Like, that's close to here. That's inexpensive, you know, because I already like blew enough money going to Tel Aviv, and and so I went to there was a plane ticket for like $175, $200 to Istanbul or Turkey, and I was like, that sounds fucking awesome because I always want to see like the Hagia Sophia and all that stuff, and it was awesome. Like I was exhausted when I got there. Because I got barely any sleep the night before, partially because I was on Lexapro, but partially because of just the spontaneity of like, it's 3 in the morning, I was laying in bed, I can go to sleep, and the plane had to leave at 7:55 in the morning or something, so not the best, wisest idea in the world, but I had the greatest fucking time. yeah, and I saw all those like huge mosques, and then like the city's just so beautiful, and it has all this street food everywhere that's just so good and so inexpensive, and there's people from like all over the world, and it's people are like, oh my god, blah blah, Istanbul, it's so dangerous, but no, man, trust me, this is like I felt a lot safer in Istanbul because like so many people around you, you know. Like I went to this one place called Taksim Square, and like there's all these like bajillions of stores, and then there's all these like alleys, and then there's like alleys on those alleys, and there's people everywhere in those alleys, and like where there's like shops there and bars there and little restaurants there, all tucked into every single little nook that you can possibly tuck stuff into. So there's people everywhere. So like I felt safe. And besides, no matter where I go, I fucking look like them anyway. Like down in Brazil, like, oh hey, you look Brazilian. Or if I'm in Turkey, they're like, oh hey, you look Turkish. So I guess when I go to Copenhagen, which I'm thinking of going to this summer, Denmark, yeah. Um, if the trip with my mom to Mexico doesn't pan out, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of hoping it doesn't because I really want to go to Europe. So sorry. But anyway, lost my train of thought. But that's what I love about traveling, man. Like you can be whoever you've always been too scared to be back home, you know. And the most expensive thing is the plane ticket, and that's it, you know. Like, don't stay at fucking hotels, and you don't have to stay at hostels, because I don't know, I never have, because I'm kind of scared of bed bugs. But there's a website called Airbnb, Air like Air, and the letter B, the letter N, the letter B.com, and you can like rent rooms and stuff in people's homes, and it's so cheap. That's why I was able to stay in fucking Rio for an entire month and barely spend anything. And that did the same thing in Tel Aviv and in Jerusalem. Well, I met somebody there, so lodging was free. Istanbul, I ended up just going to Priceline and I got a hotel for a couple of nights. Like, Preston has this cool feature where you can pick like the number of stars of the hotel in the area, but not the hotel. So you just like pick it, and it'll give you a really cheap price point for it. And they'll tell you the hotel afterwards after you pay. But it always falls in the area that you want it to be, and it always falls within the stars of like what you wanted to pay for. So otherwise, I never pay for hotels. Like it's always Airbnb, always. But I think this summer I'm gonna start doing that couch surfing thing. Yeah, I don't really know a lot about it. I just know that there's a website called couchsurfing.net or .org or .com or something, and people all over the world just like can sleep on their bed or whatever. I mean, on their couch, and just you meet a local, and it's great, you know. And you meet I don't know, you just see a city the way it's really meant to be seen instead of going to some hotel and staying there and that's it, you know. Okay, so I had to get back to studying. I've been at this for a while, so I know this started off as a psych kind of video, and it ended up kind of like a travel video. But whatever. If you have comments about psych issues or therapy or mental health or any of the medications that I've been on or the Effexor that I'm currently on or traveling or how intensely, or if you want to know more about how fucking crazy intense security in Israel is, or whatever, just shoot me a line, leave a comment below, and you and I can be best friends forever, for life, BFFs. Alright, have a good day, okay? I have test tomorrow, so I have to go study. I'm probably drinking some coffee or something. I say yes. Alright, bye.